a judiciary hearing for the assembly. 80 assembly members, but only half of them had to pass. So it's three bills today. Senate Bill 1331, 1403, and 1050. One is the American Freedmen's Bureau. One is funding for the American Freedmen's Bureau, and 1050 is reparations through eminent domain. Eminent domain, that's right.
Yes.
Giving back of the land. And oh, it was an interesting day to say the least. A little back and forth going on, but I think Senator Stephen Bradford did a wonderful job opening. Shout out to Chris Lobson, CJ holding it down just from the beginning, from 2020 to now. Just the growth that I've seen just with Chris alone. It's so amazing. And the work that he's doing, the very vital work, historic work that was done today, needs to not be remiss. So we are so grateful.
And then make sure you watch it. It's on YouTube right now.
Yes.
For people to watch what was going on today when it comes to those three bills.
Yes. You can log on to a Master Media and shout out to Brother Moya, who has done a wonderful job in covering reparations from the very beginning. So definitely check it out. So we're going to actually give you a couple of sound bites of what transpired today.
Yes.
We're gonna
and shout out to Omolara too. She's been advocating so many people putting their voice out there, but we need more people.
That's right, family. Yes. And that's one thing I must say, that it was not well attended from our people, from the audience side, and that's something that we have to change. This is a historic leverage that's happening right now. This is the first time that reparations have been discussed and passed in a way where it really is going to be benefiting the descendants of chattel slaves.
Yes.
I mean, how exciting is this? And so we do want to cover a little of the hiccups that's been along the way, but overall, the three bills still have another assembly hearing to go, so it'll be in the second hearing. But today I think it went fairly as expected, and so we'll cover a little bit of what really transpired. Yeah. So let's first of all talk about what are the bills per se.
Yeah. The first one they talk about is B1403, which is very important.
So that's the reparation proposals for the task force study, right? And that's primarily for the Freedmen's Affairs Agency. Again, we need to have an agency for those to distribute the payments when the time comes. And who better to do it than us? So we have to have an official organization to do that, and that will be the creation of the Freedmen's Bureau Agency. Now, the second part to that is 1331, which is the payments for the Freedmen's Bureau Agency. Because you can't do anything without money. Yeah. No money, no honey.
Yeah, without the fund. That's what, they talk about, oh, how can you not get there, but get us the fund.
That's right.
Without the fund, we have skilled people, knowledgeable, experience, everything under the sun. We have people, but we need the fund.
That's right.
That's 1331 is a very, very important bill.
Absolutely. Yes. And the last but not least is eminent domain. That's right. We've taken our land back, take it all back and make it all black. Yes. That's what is SB 1050. We must have acknowledgement for families who built this country, got their properties, heirs properties, homes, trust in their family that was just snatched from eminent domain. So we're going to reverse that and make sure that these families get it back.
It wasn't even nicely done.
No. It was like, hey, we want to cut you a check for this piece of property that we know is worth $umpteen million. No, we're just going to say, get out of here, we're taking it. And that is the offense of why we have to have that repaired. And so some of the most famous cases was Bruce Beach. Bruce Beach had their property returned to them, massive, I believe it was $40 million worth of land. And then they eventually sold it back to the county, but that's another story. Overall, it was a victory. So shout out to Senator Reginald Jones Sawyer and Stephen Bradford for being the brains behind returning the property for Bruce Beach. And for the Johnsons, who we're going to hear later on, also that will suffer from in Russell City, Allenstown, as well as Allensworth. I'm sorry, did I say Allenstown? Allensworth. A lot of historical Tulsa, we can never forget. So a lot of historical black townships that was desecrated, that was destroyed vehemently, violently. That's definitely part of
Yeah.
reparation. So that is the essence
Yeah.
of 1050.
Imagine how many people. Remember the elder guy who came
Mhm.
and said like it was so emotional what he was talking about, how he
Yes.
was taking his land was taken away from
Yes.
him, and he was not able to create generational wealth
Brother Sherman,
for
that's right.
yeah for his kids and kids.
Absolutely.
So there's so many African American out there that happened to them. They were not able to benefit not just their family and the community.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful for the assembly. The Senate already had their day in hearing and all passed. So now we have to go through the 80 assembly members, and only half of them have to
Yes.
agree to move on to the next round, which would be an enactment, an actual bill. And so we look forward to that. But family, you must be there. So we're gonna keep you tuned on the next time and
Yes.
date, and it should be within a week or so, so it's not too far away. But be prepared. If you're in the Sacramento area, you need to be there.
Yes.
You need to be there. I can't tell you how much it's important to have power in numbers. Now,
Yes.
there was a little miscommunication, so to speak. Some people got the timing at 11 a.m.
Yes.
that is started, and then at the last minute, found out the day before that is actually at 9 a.m. And you got to watch out for these things. Because a lot of important bills, when it pertains to us, will always have some type of snafu.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we did have some very powerful people in there. Chris Larson again and Senator Steve Bradford did a wonderful job in presenting to the assembly members. So some of the assembly members that were there was Isaac Bryan. He's one of our favorite assemblies for Senate Assembly 654. Then you had Tina S. McKenna
Mm-hmm.
from Assembly 64, Inglewood. And the chair.
This is talking right now. Oh yeah, yeah. These are the support when they were supporting for all the bills. Yeah.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
14.
That was for 1403. Everybody was supporting it, which is good.
Yeah, so
And
let's
all the
take a look,
assembly.
family. You know, when you're going on these, you only have 7 seconds. You're not going to hold a do spiel of a public comment. You literally state your name, organization, affiliation, and yay or nay. And
Yes.
this is the difference between a city council meeting and a Senate or an assembly bill judiciary hearing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
Good morning, Frank Sergey, on behalf of Kingmaker Local.
So this is where you need to be, family. Bring your kids with you. Your children, you need to
This is
be
history.
here. That's right.
This is never done before.
All the time. Yeah, give them time to practice this.
There's double R right there.
Thank you.
She was paparazzi
Yes.
and public comments.
We gotta document everything. This is a history.
Community Services Coalition,
Yes.
Go Green Foundation, and BUCA, which is the Black United
Yes, sir.
Community Advocacy.
Advocate. Yes.
Right on, right on.
And here is
Marvell Wilson,
Marvell.
Be Marvell Wilson.
yes.
Hooked
You
on
know,
fishing.
it takes people. It takes policy to pass anything.
I'm also a member with the Hooked on Fishing, Not on Violence. And I advocate for this bill. Thank you.
Perfect.
My name's Charlton Curry, co-chair of National Black Wall Street Project.
Big C Sports in the house.
Senator Bradford, also speaking for Reverend Tony Spears, the CEO, and Aline Shabazz, co-chair. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
That's right. There
Is there
you
anyone
go.
here in opposition to SB 1403?
Oh,
No.
he did a good job. You know.
Yeah, so
Moderate
speaking
the
right
whole
there
thing.
is the chair, Ash Calower.
Bradford.
We gotta show when he was about to cry.
This is the
So
beginning of a long journey that we will take
That's Miss McKenna.
I feel like about
Somebody
10
Yeah.
years.
remember
But
McKenna?
this is the ground. This is where we need to get started. And I thank you so much for your vision
Right
and
on.
your hard work on reparation.
Yes. She was amazing. Anyway, yeah, so there's more coming. So that's what was happening. Uh,
Now, what we'd like to do is
I also
to
want
yeah.
have to play. Give a little background on the chairs. As you hear this man speaking, Mr. Ash Calera, and why he's so near and dear to our heart. So Ash Calera was born in 1972. He's a Canadian American born politician and served as the first Hindu Indian California State Assembly since 2016. And so we're so proud to have him because had it not been for his passion, how he really feels about these bills, it would not have made the greatest difference that it had today. And so we're going to show you a little bit more in the broadcast on how he really laid down his feelings on what he wanted to see when it comes to repair,
Yes.
restorative justice,
Yes.
restitution.
Yes.
So these are the things that we definitely need to show up and show out for. We absolutely need to see you there.
Yes.
Foot soldiers, 10 foot down.
Yeah. And if
Feet
you
on the
need more
ground.
information, we'll be doing some event on the African market at Florence Square on the 29th this month. You're going to be
Yes.
there too to talk about where we're at city level, state level, also at the federal level when it comes to reparations.
That's right.
So make sure you be there. We'll bring all the city officials if you have any questions, and the mayors, the potential mayors will be there. So we are excited to educate and inform the people when it comes to these policies,
Yes.
because it's important we support the policy so that they can pass it, so our community can benefit from that policy. So that's
Right.
why we are fully committed to fight for this policy that Chris and everybody else. Is
That's
pushing.
Isaac Bryan speaking right there. Team Isaac Bryan. We worked on this campaign,
Yes.
and he has done such a marvelous job in restorative justice before, and now he's definitely a footprint in the sand when it comes to reparations.
Yes.
So we'd like to see if we can probably
Let's go back. Oh,
Listen to a
yeah.
little bit.
What he was saying is so.
now what you see here is about 15 members. 15 members are only able to be present at the time. So that means they have to have several different hearings, but we need to see exactly what the end result was at the second committee, because unfortunately 2 of them had a couple of nays and they didn't pass, so to speak. But 1050, when it came to land and eminent domain, they didn't have a problem. But we're going to show you what they did have a problem with. Oh, those Republicans, I tell you, rearing its ugly head.
You think that they was Republican?
Absolutely. Not only was she will show you who she is. We're not going to mention any names.
California across the states because of slavery. And I just encourage my colleagues who haven't read the report. It's 1,100 pages. It's not an easy read, but it's a truthful read. And if you're not up to the 1,100 pages, I encourage you to read the executive summary. And it speaks to why this agency is so important and why the 115 recommendations.
Snafu. Yeah. It was a Republican move right there. They were
Long
hating.
and arduous process of implementation, but we need. I mean, those recommendations need to be acted upon. And this is just a foundation, as we stated. We have a tribal affairs for our Native Americans. We've done all those things. We created reparations and helped our Japanese brothers and sisters who were interned in World War II.
And that's one thing,
this is
brothers and
just an
sisters.
example. Again,
Japanese
the
internment
leadership that
camp
we
survivors,
California.
Holocaust survivors didn't even happen on this soil. Slave owners,
Yes.
everyone received some type of compensation on our backs, on our time, on our blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
So it's inevitable that restitution, no more studies. I think we all studied out.
Yeah.
We studied in
Study.
scholars, diplomas, and
Yeah.
reparations as much as we studied.
4,000 pages of study.
Yes.
Reparation
11
passports.
1,000
Oh,
page
yeah.
study.
That's a lot of
Excuse me,
study.
11,000. Ooh, that would have been like a 20 encyclopedia. 1,100.
Again,
Excuse me, Phil.
here, just
1100
1331,
page
which will establish
study
the fund for
of
reparations
the final
and reparative
reparations.
justice and
So let's
authorize
go. And this
Oh,
is
this is the
grants
second
from
one.
federal, state,
Yeah.
and local
Here,
private
not there.
institutions. The cost of
Not here,
reparations
here.
will be high. Let's make no joke about that. But
Well, this is the
the
second bill.
cost of the harm
This is technically-
make this minuscule based on the debt and harm that was created through slavery. But again, the harms that were done to African Americans are still felt today. The harms and the disparities it created continues in every aspect of life, not only here in California, but across this nation. I have the privilege again to serve in the legislature for the last 14 years, and we have voted on dozens of bills dealing with wage theft. Slavery was over 250 years of wage theft, and we need to accept that and realize that. The harm of this wage theft, again, still exists today. And the question is, how will California pay for reparations? The Reparations Task Force is painstakingly, again, documented California's role
Listen
in
carefully,
slavery
for
and
how
decades
will
of
California
systemic
pay for it?
discrimination that followed. People will also say, well, I didn't own slaves. Why should I have to pay?
Right
Yes.
on.
If you can inherit generational wealth, you can inherit generational debt.
Woo! You heard it here first. If you can,
Again.
yes, so nice. We gotta hear it twice. If you can acquire generational wealth, then you certainly can acquire generational debt, and that is
But
what
again,
our
the harms
families
that were
will
done to
experience.
African Americans are still felt today. The harms and disparities it created continues in every aspect of life, not only here in California, but across this nation. I have
Yes.
the privilege again to serve in the legislature for the last 14 years, and we have voted on dozens of bills dealing with wage theft. Slavery was over 250 years of wage theft, and we need to accept that and realize that. The harm of this wage theft, again, still exists today.
Wage theft.
And the question is, how will California pay for reparations?
Listen to
The
this.
Reparations Task Force is painstakingly, again, documented California's role in slavery and decades of systemic discrimination that followed.
That's
People
right.
will also say, well, I didn't own slaves. Why should I have to pay?
Mhm.
Well, if you can inherit generational wealth, you can inherit generational debt.
That's
This
right.
is the debt that is owed to the people who built this country. It's time for us to
You
own
hear
up
that,
and
family?
face
No
up
more
to
discussion on
California
that.
and America's role and the harm that is done and that it still exists in this country today because of slavery. The right, and it's time to right the historic wrongs, to restore and repair the damages that have been done. We often say that the state budget is a reflection of our values and priorities. Well, this should be an example of that because, again, it should be a priority. This bill does not redistribute $800 billion as reparations or a call for a tax hike. This is another lie by the descendants of individuals who just want to find a way, dissenters, I should say, find a way not to support this. Comments such as these are very misleading, disingenuous, and undermining the 2-year work that the Reparations Task Force did to provide clear data of how we can pay for this.
Bradford singing the blues right
1331
now.
is a straightforward measure
Gotta
that
fix that
shows
one.
California is serious about reparations and owning up to this debt. With me today to testify is Rachel Bullock, ACLU California Action, and Chris Logston, I'm sorry, Chris.
That's
with
what it's,
California Coalition of
Chris.
Justice in
Yeah, so, but we're gonna be
California.
listening to what, Senator, what was her name? Chantel?
Good morning, Chair members. My name is
What
Rachel
she
Longwood.
said about, she was, she
Shake
was,
Sanchez?
yeah.
Oh yeah, she's coming up. We could actually fast forward to that.
Yeah, because that's so important after all
This
things.
bill would be a critical step forward in California's journey to address and begin to repair the harms it has
We
caused.
gotta hear her. Everybody voted for it, but her. But
Yeah.
this is unbelievable to me.
So we definitely got to do our homework, family. If by now you're not familiar with these 3 important bills that will change the course of African Americans, descendants of chattel slaves, if you haven't started tracing your lineage, what are we waiting for, family? We got to start being proactive. So our next assembly hearing, which will be coming up very, very soon, please stay tuned. We're going to give you the details for that. And you need to be at the state capitol. That is 1050, I believe,
There
1050
it is.
O Street, room 447.
All right. So at the assembly, only one lady, she was against it.
Yes.
And it's ironic. We gotta listen to this.
So this would be Senate Bill 1331.
That's 2.5 times the size of our entire state budget. To pay for that, you need a major tax hike unlike anything this state has ever seen before. I recognize and acknowledge the painful part of our history. The pains of our past should not be paid by the people of today. The majority of our state is Latino and Asian, making up 55% of our population. Most of them, like me, are first, second, or third generation immigrants who had nothing to do with slavery, discrimination, Jim Crow laws, nothing. It
She
is
said it
fundamentally
with
unfair
fire.
to
Benefiting from it, though.
because of that, I will be opposing today.
Let's pause it right there, please. Let's do a little
Yeah.
recap on who this lady in red was talking. This is Kate Sanchez. She's an American politician and she serves in the state assembly for the 71st district. Prior to taking office, she served as vice president as the American Ground Transportation, and also she wanted to join the California Latino Legislative Caucus, but she was barred from it
Yes.
because she's a Republican and is primarily Democratic. So she's kind of in her feelings. Now, what was shocking is that she wasn't really the only outspoken one that day that was opposed through payments of restorative justice. And the points that she made was that she's second and third generation, and her family had nothing to do with the harms that was caused. That could be true, Katie, but you do know that you are reaping the benefits
Yes.
being a Republican and a Latino right here in this state of California. How many of the undocumented people have gotten housing on top of health benefits without a card in the world?
That's right.
How are you speaking on that? Now, the people who built this country that still doesn't have decent housing. What do you say to that, Miss Sanchez? Oh,
But
well,
the thing
well.
with me is that what I don't understand, we all come immigrants like me from Africa. So to create generational wealth for our kids and kids, like her parents came in and created generational wealth for her. But African Americans were not able to do that because they were actually taking that generational wealth, were giving it to the Europeans and the others.
To everybody and
to
their mama.
everybody else, but
But
not
us.
African. But in fact,
Let's call it what it is.
our Africans paid for it.
Now let's
For
see what.
everybody to come in here and take advantage of.
Yes.
Whether they're European, whether they're Africans, whether they're Asians, whether they're Spanish or Mexicans, our Africans, black people, African Americans paid for it. So in fact, we should be benefiting the people who benefit us to come in here in this country benefit.
And that's
I mean,
precisely
that's a
what
basic common sense.
Senate Bill 1331
Yes.
and 1403 is aimed to do.
Yeah.
But somebody had their feelings a little hurt, and so
Yeah.
we're gonna find out why Miss Sanchez felt the way that she did. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage, shall we?
Boycotting previous committees, it's really important to go on the record opposed to reparations. So I want to thank them for doing so.
That was a slow blow. If you didn't
And
catch
what
that,
she
ladies and
even
gentlemen, that was Assembly Member Isaac
To
Bryan
be honest, I'm concerned about the proposal
confirming
will facilitate
the dumbness of Miss Sanchez admitting that she didn't agree with the payments. Just in case you didn't know that.
800 billion.
And she was
That's
going
2.5
That was
times the
not
size
the
of our
case.
entire state budget. To
Chris
pay
had
for that,
to
you need a
correct
major
it.
We're gonna see that. Yeah.
tax hike unlike anything this state has ever seen before. I recognize and acknowledge the painful part of our history. The pains of our past should not be paid by the people of today. The majority of our
That's
state is
what it
Latino
does.
and Asian, making up 55% of our population. Most of them, like me, are second, first, second, or third generation immigrants who had nothing to do with slavery.
Yes, it does.
Discrimination, Jim Crow laws, nothing.
Nothing, she says.
It is fundamentally unfair to force these people to pay for this, and because of that, I will be opposing it.
If somebody had their face handed to them faster than Miss Sanchez, it will be Miss Sanchez.
After boycotting the previous committee, it's really important to go on the record and oppose reparations. So I want to thank them for doing so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want
Thank
to
you.
thank Senator Bradford once again for bringing this forward. Again, as I said earlier, it's one thing to have a commission report what happened. The reality is that actions are necessary, and that includes reparations. It includes, in some cases, monetary reparations. There's many different ways and different forms that can take place. As the commission report recommends.
That's
come out of the
Assembly
$800
member
billion balloon
Ash
state budget.
Calra,
But at the end of the
speaking
day,
truth to power. You better go with your bad self.
I understand that it's hard to ask
That's right.
those of us
People are
currently sitting in
amazing.
the legislature to make those commitments, but no one asked Black families over generations if it was okay to take
What
their
you
wealth,
say?
if it was okay to enslave them, if it was okay to if it was okay to put their children in generations of
That's
poverty. This country
Ash
became
Calra
a
for president.
superpower based upon free labor of African descendants over hundreds of years. We need to recognize it. I know it's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy to actually admit
Yeah.
when you cause pain. It's not supposed to be easy to actually try to repair.
Yes,
and heal.
Katie. I
And yes,
guarantee
you
the
do benefit.
Portuguese side of your
We still
family
benefit to this
had
day
a lot of
from
benefits
what
with the
happened to
transatlantic
brothers and
slave
sisters in
trade.
my community over so many generations. Just close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Bravo, Mr.
Assemblywoman Sanchez, I want to
Now let's hear
comments.
the rebuttal.
Just want to correct you. Our organization, we went to every single task force hearing. We traveled, followed the task force. We were at every single moment of every single hearing. Task force did not, the comments of the task force did not say that the state should pay $800 billion.
No?
The task force economists said that the state of California stole $800 billion
Yeah?
from the descendants.
Did you hear
That
that,
is what
Katie?
the state stole from us. Now it's up to this legislature to decide what the bill is, but your comments
Yes, sir.
are incorrect. The task force said that what was taken from us was $800 billion.
I don't think this Republican can read. Now, can she? Can you pick up your face there, Katie? I think you left it right there on the floor. Right there, right there. Pick it up.
A real value of the harm that was done to families here in California and across this nation who toiled in the fields, lost their lives.
You can't see her on camera, but we were there live and direct.
Right.
She was fumbling with paper looking for some sort of escape routes and couldn't find them. Let this be a lesson to the Republicans.
Yeah.
Stop hating
Yeah.
and start congratulating.
And I think it's, for me, it's not about Republican and Democrats.
It's not, but it seems to be the
Most of them, they're
Republicans,
just ignorant.
yeah, that are adamant. They go a
When it
little
comes to Black
extra.
communities, especially.
They go a little extra based on the historical issues
Yeah.
to state their claim on how much they cannot accept reparations. It's not up to you. It's up to your grandpappies. It's up to that big house in the mansion, that 3,000 sheep count bed that you live on, that white picket fence that you got off on the backs of my ancestors. That's what that matters.
The privilege comes from that. What do you think the white privilege comes from?
Come on.
All
now.
this privilege comes from isn't our people paid for it. It's about time to pay everybody else to pay too.
That's right.
And it's not even asking for much.
That's right.
And
Just give back what was stolen. As Mr. Lasha said so eloquently on the mic. It was stolen. I need to put that on replay. Please, stolen. Miss Katie Sanchez face plastered all over Sacramento of what not to do when you're an assembly member. So again, family, we are going to give you the update on the following. We need you to show up and show out. I came in representing my Panther family. Shout out National Chairman Shaky Mama.
yeah.
Power to the people.
That's right.
But we definitely need to have the doors filled out. It
Yeah,
was
people
not.
need to get involved. This
Let's
is
get
like a
in.
history.
It's historic,
making.
and then we really will scare Katie Sanchez out that room. But hey, she asked for it. I just say, we no smoke over here. We're just gonna cut the check.
Yeah.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
Money, money, land, money, land. That's all we're asking. So reparations, restitution, again, is a harm that is repaired. Restitution is giving back something that was taken. And as you can see, some of y'all may not see, I am also of Haitian descent, Sakpase, not Boulé, but I am of American descendant of slaves. So the best of both worlds. We have restitution for Haiti from France and U.S. and reparations for U.S. So it's all the same culprit. Who do you think owes us reparations, my dear Zion?
The government right here.
Bing, 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 bing.
What else is
You
there?
heard it here first.
I'm African. I'm not even gonna get no reparation. But our people, our black people, especially the African Americans, who paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the reparations should have been long time ago when they passed the civil rights movement.
Absolutely.
By now, they would have created generational wealth.
Yes.
But it's not fair. Right now, we come from a different country and benefit, and the people who's been here for 400 years is still suffering,
Yes.
and they're still in pain. It's not acceptable.
Yes, and so my family actually came on something called the Good Ship Desire in 1636. And Will at the helm, his name was William Pierce. He actually used a cargo ship to bring goods in. And this time around in 1636, he decided to bring 11 Negroes. I didn't say this in history books. And so in some of our ancestry, they didn't even put names as we moved along. Some of us was called Desire, named right after the ship. Now this is way before the country of Haiti even became a country. In 1804, we dared to become the first free black republic, heavily involved in the revolution. So in 1804, they were terrified that we didn't want a slave revolt up in here in these states, but it was too late. You had somebody like Nat Turner. Oh, we're not going to go into history. We'll do that next time for story time. But we want to make sure that you guys know your history, because reparation is in order. It is not a request. It is not a dream. It is not a piece of dialogue. It is a necessary action that if it does not take place, family.
Absolutely.
I'm
And
just
black
saying.
people never complain when everybody got their reparation.
No.
Why does everybody have a problem? Because now it's about time to pay the African American people who paid for it with
That's
their
right.
blood and sweat.
If you remember in history, in the Emancipation Act,
It's
even
not a
paid
rocket scientist.
slave masters $300 per slave that they lost. So everybody got paid.
Yeah.
Right? So please do your history right now. We're not living in the Stone Ages. There's Google at your fingertips. Just Google, what is reparations? If by now you don't know what it is, then hey, we're going to let you know.
Yes.
It is a repair that is coming to us. So families, please start tracing your lineage if you haven't done so already.
Yes.
Join us at our next reparations talk on June 29th. Be there or be square, because this is all about you.
Yeah.
And so whether you like it or not, your children and your family members are qualified for reparations.
Yeah.
And for those who don't, no.
And if you don't show up, get support and make the noise, whatever you have to do,
Right.
so that can happen. If not, then nothing is gonna happen.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
and also the local level, we right now we have reparation, trying to create a reparation program at the local level too.
Right.
So we can find at local level, state level, and federal level. Right now, we actually have a good thing going on at Sacramento at the local level to create a reparation. Everybody needs to do the survey. So we gotta get involved and put what we need when it comes to reparation.
Right.
So otherwise, how are they gonna know what our community, what our Black community needs, what African American community needs until we put our voice? So there is a survey out there. Make sure you do the survey. Make sure you show up on the 29th so we can educate them about what is going on when it comes to reparation at this
Yes.
time. And this is the time too.
It'll be at the African Market, Florence Square,
Yes.
at 5 p.m. Saturday, June 29th. Please,
So
please,
it's a free
please.
event. There will be
Be there.
food, some Shiva food. I'll bring you my food. Dr. Ford will be flying from LA. Actually, Dr. Flush is here, but through the bell.
Yes.
Dr. Through the bell will be flying from LA, and we'll have Dr. Flo as well from here, our potential mayor.
Dr. Flo Crawford,
Yes.
you better work it out because she
Yes.
will be our first Black woman mayor.
Yeah, exactly.
So much needed. She is such a great activist. Really loves the people, and there's no one more deserving of this role than Dr. Flo Crawford.
Yes.
And so we look forward to having her in that space as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have also Kevin McCarty. He's at Assembly. He's at the Black Caucus. He's also
Sugar Plum?
running for the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have him. He's actually one of the person who wrote the educational bill for reparation.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be there. He's running for the mayor. So we're gonna have to
Yes.
ask them what they're really gonna do when it comes to reparation at the city level.
Okay.
So everybody show up. So we
Flyer?
talk about reparation, community, network, food. Now, if you have questions, please make sure you question the city officials or the community leaders who are there, so we can get involved and build our community from ground up.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
the only way.
And so we're so grateful for you to join us here. My name is Dr. Truth Bay,
Yes.
policy analyst, and your
What happened to the
friendly neighborhood troublemaker.
To mend the problems.
This is Miss Johnson.
So they took her, told us about her.
Yes. So Miss Johnson actually has property in Russell City,
Oh, yeah.
and just like many other Black families have been taken through eminent domain.
To testify
No.
as an individual who
You hear
attests
from
firsthand
Senator
to
Bradford
property
himself.
that was stolen. I'm honored to have Jesse Johnson. Ms. Johnson lived in Russell City before she was forcibly removed from her home. She is here today with her son, Benson. Ms. Johnson, Ford.
That's SB 1050.
Nurses living with my grandparents who were forced out in 1960, beginning of 1964. They owned their own land, they paid taxes on their land, as well as my mother-in-law, who was named Jessie Johnson Henry. She had half a block one way, half a block another way, so it was quite a bit of land that wherein they were forced out. And so as a result of that, my way when my husband had come home serving in the Navy, we thought we would be able to build on my grandfather's land, who was Bernie Patterson, and his father was Joe Patterson. So at that time, we thought that we would have the liberty to build on my grandfather's land. So unfortunately, eminent domain took and made my grandfather very sad. His name was Bernie Patterson. And it was very sad for me to drive. I had to move to Oakland, bought my husband and I eventually bought our home in Oakland. But at that time, we had to go back and watch my grandparents leave in the early 1964. So at that time, we did what we had to do. We put our kids, my husband and I put our children through college with law degrees, with doctor's degrees, and we continued on to work very hard. But the pain is something that you cannot see. I slap your face, you say, ow, you ask me to show you where the pain is. I can't. But the pain, you just put it under and kept moving. So I'm asking for reparations to be granted. I'm expectant that those who are for us will help to mend the problems for my descendants, because I'm standing on their shoulders. Thank you.
Is there anyone else here who supported SB 1050?
Everyone supports that, which was a good one. Like everyone supported that.
Yes.
So we have more
Let's
to go.
listen
So
to it.
people, please show up and get involved. So this is a real thing. But other community, please support too. Don't be like against reparation because this is what our African American benefit us. So that's why we were able to come here and benefit ourselves and benefit our people, whatever we can too. Come on. America built the reason why everyone, Europe, Asia, everyone, because of America. So our people built America for 400 years for free labor. So we're not going to dispute why it is about time. That's what I'm.
That's
When
right.
it comes to reparation.
So it's time to be
There's not even
proactive.
explanation.
This is a year.
Yeah.
It's an election year. It's going to be a very peculiar one at that. So be very, very informative on who is running your city, state,
Yeah.
country. Get involved. But more
Get
importantly, we
involved.
want our
These
young
people
people.
These are your government people. So
Yeah.
they are, you gotta be on them. They can't be hiding under their own policy and all that, so they don't get accountable. So when they come, especially for fraud like that, for her to be like that, that's not acceptable. They need to be informed and educated more than us, so they can actually fight for what is right. That's what they're there for. But instead, obviously, the systemic racism, that's what we're talking about. It happens through this policy. They don't want to pass no policy that would benefit black community. If African American benefit, not only
Who's
African
that?
American, every black people would go and benefit. Oh, that's you right there.
You best believe I was there, live and
Yes,
direct, family. I
yes,
wouldn't
yes.
miss it for the world. But I want to see you there along with us. So
Yes.
join us next week. We will follow up with the exact date of the second
Yes.
summary going through the post. 1050, unfortunately, was the only Senate bill that passed unanimously. They have no problem giving us land. But when it comes to cutting the check, for some reason, everybody mama's in their feelings.
But it was only one or two. So most of them passed it, so we're grateful for that too.
Yes, and we are
Yeah.
looking optimistic, and yeah, so stay tuned.
Stay
There's no
tuned.
politics, family, and stay black.
Don't
Stay
say you
proud.
don't know. Go and figure it out and be part of it and get involved.
Yes.
All right.
And if you want to get
you.
more information on reparations or anything else, then you can give me a call at 323-884-8583. You can text FREEDOM to 323-884-8583, and we'll give you all the skinny on not only reparations, but what you need to know to empower yourself with the knowledge as a descendant of chattel slave or just an ally. Whatever you like. Find more information.
Yes.
So we thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Yes.
And
See
Zion?
you, yes. See you on the 29th at 5 p.m. at the African market. We'll have food, we'll have panelists, we'll have music. So come and have fun with us the meantime while you educate yourself and getting involved. So thank you for the day. I appreciate you dear, and we want you to keep on coming here in Sacramento. I know LA needs you too, but we need you here as well.
So we nationwide.
Yes.
We outside.
Yes.
We outside.
Thank you, everyone. Make sure you go and check the YouTube. It's on YouTube right now, so make sure you take on it. Yes.
Right on.
Thank you.
We get excited up in here.
Yes.
Power to the people.
Shedding power to us. There we go.